second round. My name is Kier Evans. This, of course, is my mother, Nina Cobb.
Hi, everybody.
We are currently, she is in the battle of fighting against stage 3 breast cancer. We are currently in the second round, but before we get to all of that, we'll talk about everything that's in the beginning part.
Yeah.
So, majority of these questions will be about the port, because that's something that scared us, because it's something going in her heart.
Yeah.
So, my first question would be, what was your first thought when they told you a port was needed?
What the hell is a port? They gave me the pamphlet for the port and explained what it does and what it is, and basically it looks like it's the size of a 50-cent piece, maybe even smaller than that, and it has these 3 dots on the bottom and the left and the right corner. So that way they know where to stick the needle in the middle of those dots. And that's where the chemo will go in. That's where they will draw all of my blood. Well, when you get the port put in and when you go into your chemo sessions, the first thing that they do is you have to go into port care, which is you go in that room and you have a port care nurse, and she flushes your port first. So she hooks up this clear fluid or whatnot that flushes your port. And it's so funny because as soon as she flushes it, you can taste it in your mouth. Then after they flush it and clean it out, then they take the 3 little tubes that they have to draw your blood out of. So my blood is also drawn from that port. And then they send it down to the lab before I can even get my infusion. So they got to make sure my blood work is okay. I'm not infected with anything. Nothing is going bad. And so and the labs are fast. They send them down there. By the time you get back to your chemo room, at your queue for your chemo, you're probably waiting about 15 or 20 minutes, and then somebody will say, oh, your blood works fine, so we're just waiting on your chemo to come up. But that port does everything. Also with the port, I can't lift anything over 10 pounds. Because I have that tube that's connected to the port that runs into my heart. You can actually tell if you lift something too heavy. You can feel the strain on your chest. So I see why they say don't lift anything over 10 pounds, because you can probably damage that port or damage that tube that's running to your heart, and you don't want that to happen. So that was new for me. Another thing, when I got the port put in, it's funny because when they were rolling me to surgery to have it put in, they said it would only take like 30 minutes, and it didn't take that long. But they said, well, you're going to be up while we're putting it in, so you can talk to us and give us feedback. And I'm like, huh? I ain't never had nothing, no surgery or anything put in me where you got me up,
Yeah.
But it was fascinating. They asked me a few questions, but I still dozed off. I was dozing off in between the questions. They were like, can you turn your head to the left for me? And even though my eyes is closed and droopy, I'm like, I'm doing everything they're saying. But that was kind of different for me, because even the anesthesia and all of that had me numb. And I was scared because I'm like, I've never been up and they're asking me questions while they're feeding a tube and all of this in my chest. But they put this shield in front of you from the neck down. So all you can see is the surgeon talking to the side of you and their assistants while she's working on your chest. So I couldn't see anything. All I could do was turn to the left or the right. So that was kind of different. But
okay. All right. So my next question would be, how did you feel walking into that appointment?
What do you mean? Walking into the
the appointment to get your port inserted.
Walking into the appointment. Okay, we got to pause this because Eric just walked in.
Oh, no, tell Eric, say hi.
Pause it, don't let me interrupt. What y'all
doing? We're doing my YouTube for my cancer.
No, I'm keeping this in there.
No, but the YouTube? Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. For my YouTube channel.
I already sent y'all the link.
Huh?
I got. What's the interview consist of?
She's asking me questions about my cancer.
No, I might start crying.
He said, "Nah, he might start crying. He ain't got."
It's not in depth. It's not emotional ones right now. We're just in the part of the port session.
He just walked out.
Okay.
Oh, he heard me. He heard you.
Oh. So, okay, so we're going. Okay, let me start back over. How did you feel walking into that appointment to get your port in? I know me and LV, your husband, was with you that day, but how did you feel walking into it?
I was scared. I still didn't want to believe this was happening. I was scared and I was frustrated because I knew once I got that port put in and how they explained it and that I couldn't lift over 10 pounds. Simple grocery shopping, that's out. Even if I go grocery shopping, I had to get assistance for the groceries to get put in my car. Yard work was out.
Yep.
I couldn't do any of that. The port was going to limit me with any and everything that I do. So I wasn't looking forward to it. I just wasn't looking forward to it. I was scared,
Mm-hmm.
But the people that was putting it in did make me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
They had me laughing, but I was scared. That's the only word that I can say. I was scared because I've never had anything that's going to be put in me and it's got to stay there for months. Like I got this put in December the 10th. We're now in April.
Right.
This has got to stay in me May, June, July, August, so I can't do anything. So I'm limited.
Yeah, because I felt a little bit better knowing, because I was like, this thing is really going in our heart. So it made me feel a little bit better when you came out and said you are not the first one for the day. She had already done multiple ports.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah. So I was like, it's a lot of people going through this.
And I'm gonna tell you something else too that scared me. When I was doing the research on the port, and I swear to God, these phones be listening to what we be saying. Because all of a sudden I log on Facebook and you get to scrolling and then you see, has your port been damaged? Did your port plastic fall apart? Did your tube come loose from your heart? If you do, you can be compensated. I'm like, what the hell? Like
the little Asian behind the screen is listening.
Yeah, like, are these ports bad? Like you putting something in me that if you got this port put in after 2013, I'm like, okay, it's 2026. Like, has the port improved? So
yeah.
It's those negative things that they tell you to stay away from. And so then I see why my cancer care person told me your breast cancer book is like your Bible. Do not go to the internet. Do not go to friends.
Yep.
Just stick with that book, and I see why, because Facebook and the internet will scare you.
Yeah, it will terrify you.
Yeah.
Because my next question, you pretty much answered it already, but did the idea of a port access make you feel more emotional or just the same? And I know you answered it too. You was nervous, you was scared. So
yeah, and I didn't want it because I knew it was going to limit me. But
yeah.
I had to do what I got to do.
Okay, so let's see. Another question would be, what surprised you the most, if anything, about the process?
I'm going to tell you what surprised me the most. Going to the cancer center and walking up that catwalk, and it's so many people that have cancer and various types of cancer. I did not realize how many people are on that floor fighting for their life. This might sound funny, but I have never seen so many bald heads in one room. Literally, like,
yeah.
That shocked me, because I'm like, and it made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
That was kind of emotional for me, and it started putting things into perspective for me. Like, this is real. Like, I'm not the only one. There were so many people. It looked like a port party, with port lines hanging out, and whether it was their chest or their back, or, everybody's in there fighting for the same thing. And everybody has a loved one with them. Right. Nobody's in there alone. And that was amazing for me. Like, and it made me realize I'm glad I got good family. I'm glad I got awesome kids. Because, there are some people that don't even speak to their parents.
To the kids, yep.
Or anything, or don't want anything to do with their parent or parents. But all 4 of my kids are just, I call y'all my awesome blossoms, my lucky four.
Yeah.
And all of y'all have been there for me. So yeah.
What was the hardest part of that moment for you? What helped you get through it? Like, what made you get through it after you're home and you see this port in you?
To be honest with you, family, prayers, I don't even know if I'm still through it. To be honest with you. It's a part of me now, but I hate this thing. Even sometimes, like, if I'm in the shower and I'm scrubbing, and I might hit it, and then I'm like, ooh, and then I slowly back off of it. I'm still not used to it. It frustrates me. This port still frustrates me. The only thing that gets me through the day with everything that I'm going through is my close clients that pray for me, and my family that keeps my spirits up, my husband, that, my husband is a clown. So he makes me laugh and keeps my spirits up. He won't, even if I'm at home depressed and I get to crying, he has a way to turn my tears into laughter. But honestly, I don't think I'm still used to it. But I get help getting through it through y'all.
Yeah. So let's see. My next question would be, how did this change you?
This has changed me in a lot of ways. You know, I don't really go to church. I might go once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Or if your grandma say, Nina, I need you at church this Sunday. They haven't. Okay. I'll be there.
Okay. Yep.
You know, can't say no to grandma. Can't say no to my mom. Can't say no to your grandma.
Yeah, you can't.
But I've been going to church a lot more. I've been praying a lot more. I actually sometimes wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go outside on my back porch. And I have conversations with God. I don't know if, you know, they say you can say 2 lines for a prayer. And I'm one of them ones that I can honestly admit, I pray, but I don't know how to pray. Like, some people can do them deep prayers like your Aunt Annette or your,
or
Ada, you know, they are those sanctified women that can put a prayer down.
Yeah.
And my prayers are more like Medea.
Yeah, like, dear Lord, sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah, sweet baby.
I know that ain't your name, but
yes.
that's all I got.
Yeah, you know, but I have conversations with God.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him my fears. I tell him my stresses. I talk to him while I'm angry. And it makes me feel good. But I noticed since I've been going through this, I'm scared to stay asleep. Normally I can stay asleep till 7, 8 in the morning if I'm, if I'm not working. I get up at 4 or 5 in the morning now. I'm scared to stay asleep. Right. I don't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because you're still scared of that moment of that dying fear.
It's that dying fear that's still in me, even though they say, you know, things are shrinking and the cancer is dying. I still have that fear in the back of my head of dying.
Yeah, because cancer is not curable.
The
only thing you can do is go through your chemo, your surgeries, your radiation. Like, you have to go through so much for it to leave you.
And then the one thing I thought about was, like I said, in the first, my family, like, am I going to get to see my grandkids grow up? I got 2 that's autistic. I want to see what they're going to be able to accomplish. I want to see my adult kids have kids and get married and accomplish things and promotions. And I was scared I was going to miss all that. Like, what are my kids going to do without me? And then I think about, is my mom going to bury me? Like,
right, yeah.
I'm not supposed to die before my mom. I don't want to put that on her. I just got married. What is this going to do for my husband? It's all these fears. It's just a fear of the unknown. It's things that I thought about that I never thought about before.
Right.
And then you start to think about things that you hadn't got to do. You know, raising y'all as a single mother, and it's 4 of y'all. You know, the first time I ever rode a plane was 3 years ago, and that was because of my husband.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it was Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas. I'd never ever been on an airplane ride until I was 48, 49. That was an experience for me. And then I started making a bucket list of stuff. I got the travel bug in me. He's like, let's go. All right, where we going? I'm going, you know, because I never got to do anything raising y'all, but I'm experiencing a lot now because of my husband. So that hit me. Like, am I ever going to get to New York and see the Statue of Liberty, or have my clients say, nope, you got to go to Manhattan, you know, or I want to go to New Orleans, Mardi Gras, you know, I want to go out of the country and you know, I want to go to Jamaica, and I want to
Hawaii.
I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to Brazil, you know, and yeah, all of that flashes through you, things that you might not be able to do, you know.
Yeah.
At the crime, sorry.
No, it's completely fine. It's completely fine.
My damn shit. I didn't even know.
He said I'm about to cry for myself.
I gotta go.
Eric teared up.
Yeah, tell Eric I'll be interviewing him soon.
Okay.
Let's see. What's some other questions? So we got through the port part. Now I'm just winging it because I ain't got no more questions. So let's go through your first day of your infusion. What was the date? Who went with you? And what was your weight prior to getting your first infusion?
The prior yes. The prior my prior weight before all this happened was 135 pounds. When I went to my first infusion and when they weighed me, I knew I was losing weight. They weighed me at, I think, 100 and I want to say 120. And that was my first infusion day. The second week that I went back, I dropped to 116. My third week, I dropped from 116 to 113.
Mm-hmm.
That's high school weight. I'm 57 years old. I hadn't been 113 since 9th grade, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Skin sagging in my thighs. Skin getting wrinkly because it's extra
skin
that I've lost so fast. And of course, my first infusion day, my husband went with me. He asked a lot of questions. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when you go to the port cath care, you get that port, you go to cath care, the nurses, it's like a butterfly needle. And let me tell you about that needle. And then we're still on the first day of me going. So the first day, I go into port care room. I sit down in the chair. They were like, "Did you get your numbing cream?" I didn't know nothing about any numbing cream. I'm like, "No." They were like, "Well, we're going to prescribe you some numbing cream because you want to put the numbing cream on over the port before you come in, at least an hour before you come in, so you don't feel the needle go in." And I'm like, okay. So they're breaking out all the stuff that they need. And the needle, it looks like it's on a little butterfly clip. Like if you put a little butterfly clip in a child's hair, that's what it looks like. So when she pulled the port needle out, the port needle is about the size of a panel nail, like you're hanging up pictures on the wall. Mm-hmm. That little panel nail, that's how long it is, and that's how round and thick it is. And when I seen it, I'm like, "What's that?" She said, "That's your port needle." I said, "And where is that going?" She said, she said, "It's going in your chest, in your port." I said, "Oh, no, it's not."
That's good.
So I had to take a deep breath. She counted to 3. She punctured it. I said, "Oh, yeah, I want that numbing cream next time." It was quick, but I felt it, you know?
Yeah.
And so then they put this plastic sterile strip stuff over it, keep it in place. and then they have this tube that comes out, and that's what connects all of your catheter stuff that's going into once you go to your pod. So after I leave out the port care room, you sit back down actually you don't sit back down. You can go to your, what they call your queue, and they have queues A through Q, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people in a room. And they'll say, oh, today you go to A, or the next week you might go to Q, or the next week you might go to P, you know. And so you go to that room, nurses' stations are in the middle, and they'll be like, what last name? Cobb. Pick whatever chair you like. You sit in the chair that you're comfortable with. Once again, like I said before, you're waiting on your labs to come up so they'll know that everything is okay. Then all of a sudden you start seeing this big old bag come in. That's got all of your chemo bags in it. And they lay it on top of your station. And then they're like, okay, we're going to start you with your Dextron and your Benadryl. And then, you know, once that Benadryl kicks in, you're going to be
you're going to be doing it. I'm going to let you know that now.
You can't fight it. That Benadryl is going to have you out for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. So if you got allergies and you take Benadryl allergy medicine and you know that little pill takes you out,
this is liquid.
Imagine a whole bag.
This is liquid Benadryl going through you. So I'm on like different chemotherapies. They have like, and my therapy sessions take 3 hours. So I'm there literally, they say 3 hours, but you're there longer. I'm more like 4.5, because you have to wait for the lab. And sometimes that lab might take 20 or 30 minutes before they send your stuff up. And then they start running your chemo meds and all of that. So you sit in that chair and all you're doing is letting that chemo go through you until you're finished. My husband was amazed. He had a lot of questions. But I noticed when I got home, I didn't feel the same.
Right.
You could feel that chemo swirling through your body, swirling through your head. You can feel your whole body changing. You can feel your stomach changing. I didn't want to eat that day. And actually, 1 o'clock in that morning, I jumped up out the bed. It's like I could slowly feel heat raising up in my body. But when it hit my throat, I said, whoa. Ran to the bathroom, and I was around the porcelain god in the bathroom because I was vomiting like crazy. Yeah. I couldn't stop. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm sweating, you know, and that's the side effects of the chemo.
Yeah, because you'll sweat more than normal.
Yes.
Truly will.
You sweat more than normal.
Yeah, and when my mom told me this, you know, us siblings, it's 4 of us, I made a group chat for her progress, because sometimes we'll rotate on who goes with her. So I let them know, like, hey, she has these night sweats, and I looked up on Amazon, and it's a cooling blanket.
Yes.
So I know they give you, you know, the Susie pads with the head cap and whatnot.
And the feet, yeah.
Yep. And but it's, you don't think about it immediately, but I know with the cooling blanket, like as soon as it lays on you, you start to cool down a little bit.
Yes, you do. And it helps tremendously. Like that cooling blanket has saved me a lot of nights. And it's so funny, I got to say this, it doesn't have nothing to do with what I'm going through, but my husband is real hot-natured. So he shared my cooling blanket with me. Like, literally, he was like, when you threw this breast cancer and you survived this, he was like, I'm taking over this cooling blanket. Like, this is the best thing ever. So I might have to order him his own, but yeah.
Yeah.
The cooling blanket is everything.
Yeah, so 2 things that we learned so far that you will absolutely need, that they may not tell you, numbing cream before you go in.
Yes.
When you're taking that ride, or if you can remember, get that numbing cream. Also get like some what's that? That sterile,
The
clear
sterile.
paper that covers it.
Yes.
Yeah. So your numbing cream doesn't wipe
It
off.
stays into place and it doesn't wipe off.
Yeah. And it doesn't wipe off. And those would be the things that you would need. If you buy the extra large ones, you can cut it in half and use it. Like she said, after that first initial day, definitely talk to them about your nausea and vomiting pills that they may give you. Now, I know it may be some natural remedy people out there.
Oh, let me tell you this. Yes, I'm very natural. And these doctors, I'm going to tell you something, doctors and the nurses do not like you telling them that you're taking something natural versus what they're wanting you to take. And I'm going to tell you something, they're right. I ordered some Queasy natural like candy that stopped the queasiness in my stomach. And I'm like, yeah, I ordered some Queasy drops from Amazon and they help. And they're like, that's not going to stop your vomiting. It's just going to curb the queasiness for a little bit of amount. So then I started taking the nausea and vomiting pills that they prescribed to me, and they did work a lot better than what the natural Queasy gummies that I ordered from Amazon. And then I ordered the chemo mouthwash from Amazon. And my doctor looked at me like, he prescribed me their, and I'm going to tell you something, it's nasty. It looks like pink, thick Pepto-Bismol with a nasty taste, but it helped better. Because just like now, chemo dries you out from the inside out. So right now, if you can kind of tell I'm talking with my tongue because I have gum sores on the roof of my mouth. So when I drink that, actually, hold on for a minute. I'm going to run and get it real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you have to shake this stuff very well. And it's pink. It's pink. And it tells you that you can swish, spit, or swallow it. I do all three. Because sometimes you wake up, your mouth is split, you got gum sores, and even biting a piece of bread hurts. This stuff works tremendously. So do not order the stuff from Amazon, even though it soothes it, but it doesn't stop the sores or the bleeding. And you find yourself brushing your teeth probably 3-4 times a day, because sometimes you wake up in the morning and God, I have to admit, your breath smells worse than it's ever smelled. I don't know what it is, but I can smell my own breath. And that's not a good thing. So I make sure that I brush real good, and you have to have a soft toothbrush.
Very soft.
Very soft. I'm used to brushing with a medium toothbrush. I had to get a soft one because it hurts. So that's another thing that going through this chemo. When I went through my first sessions, I'm vomiting. My second session, vomiting. When I got to the third week, that was one night I couldn't stop vomiting. I couldn't stop the vomiting. I couldn't stop the diarrhea. Both were hitting at the same time. And my husband was like, do you need to go to the hospital? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I can't do this. I couldn't keep any food down that week.
Mm-hmm.
Went 3 days, and they admitted me in the hospital. And I was in the hospital for 3 days because they wanted to make sure I didn't have a bacterial infection. I didn't have any type of virus.
Yeah.
So when they ruled all of that out, because I was in the hospital vomiting, diarrhea, they had to take stool samples, and I was just miserable. I was hungry, but I couldn't keep anything down.
Yeah. Yep.
So then they realized the Keytruda, which is a chemotherapy, was too high. So my doctor said that they can adjust your chemo meds at least 3 times. They adjusted mine 1 time, and that's what helped. So they start you out at a high chemotherapy.
That max.
My body couldn't handle the max. I just could not handle the max. So he had to adjust my dosage down. And that's what helped me get through the rest of my sessions.
Yeah. And also before you go into your appointments, it's a good thing to take your nausea and vomiting pills before.
Yes.
And take it at night.
Yes.
And then take it in the morning.
Yes.
And then take it later on in the evening.
Yes.
That's one thing that we did find that helps once we figured out that it's the Keytruda that's like high. And then once it was brought down, she started taking the medication that her doctors prescribed her. Again, helps nuts. You can't fight it. I'm sorry. You can't go natural, okay? You just can't do it. It's impossible.
But you can. But
I mean, you can if you still want to be miserable.
You can, but it might be defeating the purpose on some things depending on what you're going through and what stage you're in. Sometimes you're going to be harming yourself more than helping yourself. And I'm not against the natural stuff. Trust me, even though I'm taking my meds and everything, my chemos and all that, I still do the soursop.
Yeah, the soursop gives you some of that, okay?
Yes, I got that. I do the soursop drops.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to keep me from doing the soursop.
Yeah, and the doctors even say the soursop is good for you.
It's good for you. Yeah. So it's little things, but but it's certain things I had to give up. Like, for example, I found out, and I love lavender. Lavender does not coincide with your chemotherapy. It can actually reduce it and cause it not to benefit you. So I have to stay away from lavender. So it's a lot of things that I'm learning about this and going through this cancer journey. So
yeah, and if you like coffee, forget the sugar.
Sugar. I have got sugar-free wafers, and I've learned sugar-free juice. But believe it or not, I drink a lot of water now. A lot of lemon water. I buy lemons, cut them up. I drink so much water now that it's unreal. I will drink a ginger ale because that's what they give you at the cancer center if you want something to drink.
Yeah.
I might have like a ginger ale, but other than that, yeah. But other than that, water. Do I cheat sometime? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Every once in a while, I might have maybe 1 can of Coke, but it ain't once a week or anything. It might be once out of the month or something like that. But I make sure I dilute it with water after that. But I've noticed that water has been my best friend.
Yep.
I drink a lot of water.
Yep, that'll be your best friend.
It's so funny. I've even bought like a sodium reduced and sugar reduced ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing how when you go to the store and you you got to pay attention to what you buy. I don't do red. I can't do a lot of red meat anymore. I didn't do a lot of fried stuff anyway, but I really can't do a lot of fried stuff now. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
When you have cancer, you need to do a lot of baked, steamed, broiled.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
Every once in a blue moon, once a month, I will go to Wingstop and get a lemon pepper wing. Get my lemon pepper,
Yeah, but, we have our dates at Kickback.
So you have our dates at
wings.
Kickback.
Yeah,
gotta have a lemon pepper wing at Kickback.
We used to have our drinks with it, but now we can't.
But now we can't. There's got to be alcohol free.
Free.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you pay attention to what goes in your body a lot more.
And then when it comes to moisturizing, because I know you said your skin dries out, what would you recommend?
I do vitamin E oil.
Right.
And I'm natural, so I do a lot of natural
cocoa butter.
My butters, my shea butters, my vitamin E oil. I don't do lotion because lotion, if it's not hemp lotion, I don't do lotion because lotion tends to have a lot of alcohol and water in it that dries your skin
out even more.
So if I'm not going to Cosmo Pro and getting my hemp, and people like, you be paying $15 or $18 for that lotion. Yes.
That hemp lotion smells so good.
Yes, and it's moisturizing. They even have one that's a triple moisturizer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And then I was about to ask you one more thing. I forgot. So far, again, if you're going to your first appointment, we're trying to give you everything to expect or what you would need to make it easier on y'all, because we didn't know this until after.
Yes. You're going to need, if you
Yeah.
got that port in your chest, you're going to need your numbing cream. You're going to need somebody with you.
At all times, yeah.
Yes, you're going to need somebody to drive you because your body is going to start not feeling like you.
Yeah.
By my fourth session, it's funny because you were with me and I started crying. Remember, I started crying in the car and I was like, this don't feel good. I don't feel right. I feel nauseous. I hate this, blah, 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 blah. And I started crying. And it's so funny because I had already cut my dreads off to my little afro.
Yep.
God, they already told me I was going to lose my hair. I felt my hair getting brittle, but I still didn't want to accept it. Like, I ain't going to lose my hair. And you still have in your head.
I ain't going to lose my hair.
So I'm in the car crying and you're driving. And then all of a sudden, I just put my hand up and lean against the window and I did this. And when I did this, these 3 fingers made 3 straight lines through my hair. And you could see the 3 lines through my hair and it pushed all my hair off my head. And I looked and my hair was in my hair. I said, Kim, I done lost my hair. I got 3 lines in my hair. I went from crying to laughing and we could not stop laughing.
Yep. Sure could.
So when I got home and my husband got off work and I showed him what the 3 lines did, he was like, well, you ready to go in the bathroom and do this? I knew what that meant. He had them barber clippers. I said, yeah, I'm ready. And he just went ahead and shaved me on down.
Yeah, and I'll be sure to show y'all the faces of her hair journey. There was I'm trying to think of well, no, I don't think there's anything else I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Ooh, well, we started at a good time frame. Yeah, we're gonna stop it here. So if y'all have any other questions, any comments, concerns, advice, opinions, just leave a comment below, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah. Bye. See you next time. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.